Her challenge was to be flown to London for a week without a place to stay and with no money. Her only tool was social media like Facebook and Twitter to secure herself food and shelter. Singaporean Daphne Chui volunteered herself for that very challenge, to be sent to London for a week with no money. On top of that, she had various charitable tasks for her to do while she was in London, so it wasn't just fun and games for the 25-year-old digital strategist. The challenge was one of 30 events happening around the country during Social Media Week. Hosted by AKA Asia, Social Media Week was held from the 13th to the 17th of February. Occurring simultaneously in 13 cities around the world, it hoped to discuss the significance of social media and to inspire content for it. Now back in Singapore, Daphne sits down with Razer TV to tell us how she survived on just social media alone. Hi Daphne, nice to meet you.
Hi Brian.
Okay, so just get the ball rolling. I want to know what you do for a living.
I actually work in social media. I work in
Right.
an agency called Good Stuff. Not
Okay.
sure whether you're familiar with it. So essentially, it's a term that no one really likes to use, but essentially
Right.
we use social media marketing for the lack of a better word.
Sure.
But we actually call ourselves a social influencer agency, so that's what I do for a living.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
almost like up your alley for you joining this like social media week,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. I mean, I'm pretty much on social media all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm using social media for Facebook, Twitter, everything. I mean, it's part of my job, and
Yeah.
So essentially, I'm pretty. I'm one of those people that has been given the right to use social media at my work,
Right, and get paid for it too, man.
exactly fantastic.
Okay, so that probably, I don't know whether it might answer my next question is how you got involved in this social media week and the whole trip to London.
I actually heard about this trip through. I was checking out the events at Social Media Week. And I was like, hey, there's this thing that looks quite interesting.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I'll go and check it out. Then I applied, and I got it. So
And you have this blog called Wonderfully, and,
Yes.
and from what I gather, it's basically a place for you to document your wanderlust, basically, because you like to
Yep.
travel, right?
Yep.
Okay, so probably that was a major factor on why you got chosen for the social media week experiment, right?
Maybe,
maybe
yeah.
you can tell me a little bit more about the blog.
I love to travel, and I will never call myself a travel blogger because
Okay.
there are a lot of travel bloggers out there that I know
Right.
that are way better than I am. But I would say that I'm a person who blogs about travel. And to me, because I just feel that a lot of times you just travel so much, and then there's so many stories you want to share, and I just use it as a way to document my travels and my stories. And I love to write about people that I meet. So honestly, I don't get a chance to write as often as I like to, because travel. The thing about travel is that it takes a long time to write and to pull out all the photos and all that. So I don't write as often as I like to. But when I do, I try to make it as personal as possible.
Daphne's blog Wonderfully sees her documenting the people she has met and experiences had on trips in recent years. However, London was only her third trip alone, and it saw her pre-preparation involving finding out what the weather was like, and more importantly, setting up a Facebook page as well as using Twitter for acquiring tips and suggestions on where she could stay in London. So
Yeah.
when you arrived there, you still didn't know anyone. Essentially, you don't know anyone there, and,
Yeah.
and all the people that sort of the tips that you were given.
Yeah.
They didn't meet you. They didn't.
I didn't meet everyone because
Right.
there were a lot of people who offered me. I haven't done a count in terms of the number.
Okay.
But essentially, when I launched the page, when I first shared the page, it was a Wednesday morning at 9:45.
Okay.
The next day, within 24 hours, I had enough accommodation offers to last me the entire trip.
Okay, what was the first
Yeah.
question you posed to everyone? Like, where do I stay?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm just saying that, I need places to stay. And I wrote in my info page, that I need accommodation, food, Oyster card, that kind of thing. I think I only shared it with maybe about 150 of my friends, not even my full list. I have about 800 on my list. Because, Facebook, half the time you don't speak to half the people anymore. So, so in that sense, I decided to just send to people that I have at least been in contact recently.
And
at
trust.
least, and trust in that sense. And I didn't even share the link on my own profile, funnily enough.
Wow.
And after that, everyone just started posting on their own profiles. Some of them tagged me, some of them didn't. So I think I must have missed a lot as well. And they just started tagging it, and they started tagging their friends who were in London. So, it first reached the overseas Singaporeans, but eventually it reached, other people as well. Like this group of Hong Kongers that I stayed with, there were 3 of them. They actually found out from one of their friend's sisters who was living in Canada.
Right.
And so it was like, wow, okay.
Up next, Daphne takes us through her 1 week in London.